Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gibble with today's trading action. All right, now let's just get straight into it. The Aussie CPI numbers 20 minutes away. Now let's have a look at the calendar. This is going to be one of the major releases, obviously, for the Australasian session. Consumer confidence numbers in Japan may come into play. Economic sentiment there in Switzerland. You got some mortgage numbers there in the UK. It's one of those sort of little bits that sort of build the picture. We'll see how that comes out. But the next major release today would be the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. Now, 0.25% cut expected. We'll come into that in a minute. So let's just have a look at the interest rate tracker, right? So it's 95% factored in that the Bank of Canada will cut rates. Okay, so it's really going to come down to this statement, what they're going to say. If they do cut, there's only 5% that haven't factored that in, so there won't be much of a move to the downside on the Canadian dollar. Now, looking at the Aussie, okay, you got 54% think interest rates are going to remain on hold, right? And 46% look for a cut. This CPI number out of Australia is the interest rate decision. If the number comes in, we are expecting a slightly stronger number, but if the number comes as the range 2.7 to 3.1, if it comes in above 3%, you can forget about an interest rate cut, right? If it comes in below 3, I'd say like 2.8, 2.7, then the cut is on the cards. Now, trade this smartly, right? And what I mean by that is I've just had a look at across the Aussie crosses. Aussie is outperforming everything on the short term, right? Aussie Kiwi up, Aussie Swiss up, Aussie Yen's back up, Euro, Aussie down, Sterling, Aussie down, Aussie CAD up. Now, if I showed you the daily charts, it's the same picture except Euro. Euro is still above the bull bear pivot line. So it's really a matter of you choosing which one of these instruments is your favor or flavor. Now, ideally, right, Sterling Aussie, well, it's coming back up. We want this thing to go down. We want stronger numbers. Now, don't forget, we are expecting a bounce in the CPI. If the numbers come out weak, I'm probably not going to be trading because all of these things are outperforming. The downside, I think, will be limited with the numbers, right? So having a look around the board, Aussie CAD does look good to me. Aussie Swiss also. And don't forget our old friend, the Aussie dollar, which, also looks like it's ready to go sort of topside in a hurry, right? Now, how do you trade this? This is the hardest part. When it comes down to the liquidity at the time of the release, right? Liquidity is going to disappear. And the Aussie chart's a good measure of what to expect because we have a situation here where, you know what, we've got a high over here. That's up towards 67. There's nothing up here. That means with no trend lines on the top side, we are a little bit stranded. Reduce your trade size. If you're using some sort of pending order, I would go up to 20 points away from the market, right? Because it's going to disappear if it's a really strong number. 3.1, 3.2, this thing takes off to the top side and probably doesn't retrace much. So if you are doing that, be aware of it. If the number comes in at 3 or 2.9, well, it's going to diffuse the situation. We'll see the Aussie dollar probably drift back down towards support here, 65.5, okay, or a little bit lower. And we'll see what it is. It really depends on the level of variance. So for me, all the best trades here on the Aussie are up, right? Now, it's like trying to work out, I got sort of stuck on Sterling Yen last week, right? Looking for a bit of a number on the number, a bit of a positive outcome. I got hit on the release. Now that ended up costing me a couple of grand because I had other trades where I was selling Sterling on the downside. So just be aware of it. Look through your Aussie crosses. I know we're running out of time, but just quickly, here's one 52.70 Aussie Swiss. That could be something to hit after the number. Aussie CAD, you come into Aussie CAD. I'm looking for resistance levels. So even if it's on the daily charts, let's find some levels where we can find some liquidity. That's what these trend lines are. So looking at Aussie CAD, 92.33, something else we can get into after the number. If the number's strong, we're going to have chances to get into it. Just don't make a big mistake trying to get in on the actual release, right? That's where the juice is, I know. But the market's sort of factored in a bit of this strong number. I'm sort of taking it easy. I'm not using pending orders. I'll try and get into one of these crosses as best I can, and we'll see how it plays out for here. Because if this CPI number is good, Aussie's going to trend for the next sort of month, right? So you don't need to necessarily get this one number. All right. So when it comes back to looking, as I was sort of saying there, on we can check the signals, see which ones are firing there on the signals. You've got also with dollar CAD, right? So sorry, just don't let me miss this out. I know we're sort of short of time. So the interest rate decision largely factored in. You need to go to the Bank of Canada page and see what's going on. And then when you are looking at the CAD, right, make sure you get up on your CAD crosses, have a look across the board and see what's going on here, right? This is a reset. I don't think we're going to see anything crazy out of the Bank of Canada, but you want to have a look through, see what could be there for stronger or weaker numbers, right? CAD and the Aussie are the go-to today. Make sure you tune up your charts. Trend lines are your friend. We don't have many friends on the Aussie just at the moment. So make sure you go through your charts, find out where resistance is, and let's see if we can't get into this trade. So I'm banked on Aussie numbers. If it comes out weak, I've already managed my expectations, right? I'm not going to be trading. I'll still look to get into the Aussie, potentially on a buy order, but much lower, right? So that's it, guys. Have a good one. I'll get this video up as quick as I can. Cheerio.